Welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies. Welcome. This is Jane Gardner, and welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies. Today's show is World Domination Wednesday, where we talk about you and your customer. We have been talking about how to profile your customer, decide who your customer ideally might be, and now we're on to deciding how to get them from prospects into customers. And then we'll be talking about defining what your customer wants, give your customer what they want, how to keep those customers, and keep growing your business with more customers. So World Domination Wednesday is all about dominating the world of your customers and making them your raving fans. So far, as I mentioned, we've been discussing how to define who your customer are. But today I'm going to give you something to think about in terms of that and deciding on an ideal customer. But I'm Jane Gardner. I work with my husband in our structural engineering firm for the last 20 years. We have dogs and cats. We live in Western Canada. And about 3 years ago, I went onto the internet to help other entrepreneurs start their new business. So that's who I am. And now let's go on and we'll discuss your customers. Well, who are your customers? Well, everyone is not your customer, according to Seth Godin, and I would agree. We've discussed that before, of course, in the very beginning. And then we have been discussing that your customers are those who want your solution to their problems, or they want you to fulfill their desire, whatever that might be. So, for example, they may want to have expensive diamonds, and if you can fulfill that desire, then they'll visit you. I've been discussing who is your ideal customer, and I have an offer at jgtips.com/customer profile, where we have 6 days of daily emails with training videos sent to you with worksheets and questions for you to answer about yourself and your business. If you've seen our previous shows, you'll know why you look at your business first and how does it solve your ideal customer's need or problem. And then we define your ideal customer, and then we use your research to craft your messages to attract those customers, and then how to use the tracking tools to measure your success. So that's 6 days of training with worksheets and research for you to develop your ideal customer profile so that you can get on with designing your business. So that's at jgtips.com/customer profile. And as we mentioned before, there's over 3.3 billion internet users online today. And so in order to attract who are going to be your customers, you have plenty to get them from, and you just have to use the messaging and connect with the ones who will be your customers. We looked at various things you had to think about for your possible ideal customer for your business. Previous episodes, we looked at the demographics of your potential customers, including their age, location, gender, income, education, and profession. We looked at their psychographics, which was their personality, attitude, values, and hobbies. We also looked at the geographic of your ideal customer. They may be in certain areas of a country or certain countries. And then we had a look at how to research also using media like magazines and websites and social media and government research and white papers to find out more about your customer and what they might be interested in terms of how you can attract them to your messaging. And lastly, we looked at their purchasing behavior. When do they buy? What is their strategy? What are they looking for? And what are they using currently? So we can use a lot of social media information to find that out. And you can go and check out my Solopreneur Success Strategies TV at jgtips.com/YouTube. On the YouTube channel there, you just go back to all the World Domination Wednesdays, and you will find the various shows that we had on all those topics. As well, we looked at the ideal customer experience as being part of your brand and how to develop a customer experience that will get people attracted to your business, and you can be consistent in your branding and clearly define your messaging and communicate it to your target market, and then make each part of your customer experience consistent, and that will also keep your customers as well as bring them back to you again and again. And so we've had a look at, of course, who is your customer, as I mentioned, and what is the ideal customer experience. And you can catch any of the previous episodes at jgtips.com/YouTube. And so now we were going to discuss how to convert prospects into customers. Now that you've worked on creating an ideal customer profile, now is the time to figure out how you are going to sell to them. And we had an episode where we had some of the ideas for things that you can offer to attract possible prospects to commit to becoming your customer, including having a great experience with you and connecting with you on a deep level, as well as, of course, offering discounts and offers which may bring them into actually purchasing. And that was on a previous episode. And then last week, we had a look at prospects and how to turn them into customers. So we have basically an example of a mother with a child who has school-aged children, and today we're going to have a look at her having a desire to have a business in order to make more income for herself and her family. And then she's 30 years old, of course, and then we have a mature lady who is near retirement and thinking that she would like to have more in her life other than just retiring, and her pension is not doing too good. So she'd like to make some more money, and one of those ways is through a business. And then we have a 30-year-old lady who's in business, hired by as an employee. She's getting fed up with the unappreciation and the low wages in her job, and thinking that maybe there might be a way that she can maybe go out on her own and start her own business now that she has the skills she feels will be relevant to other people. So the question then becomes, well, who of those people are your ideal customers? Well, they may all be your customers depending on your product or service, and certainly there's a secret to understanding whether a prospect can be your customer. For example, of course, we've had a look at some of the research when you have a product or service, how you can define who your ideal customer is, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other customers out there for you as well. It's just a matter of the messaging. So, for example, all three ladies are thinking of starting their own business. And obviously the 30-year-old who has children can only work a part-time at her business. And it might be something that is certainly different from the mature lady who has the time but doesn't particularly interested in doing what she used to do as an accountant, for example. She wants to go and express herself in another business. And then we have the lady who's working and right now and in a job, and she wants to take the leap out into being having her own business and being hired as a consultant. Well, if you're, say, for example, a business coach like myself or a life coach, you can actually learn how to understand all three ladies. Obviously, they do have different needs and desires, but they also have a certain basic desire, which is just to start their own business. And so you can actually create your business such that it can cater to the various people in terms of how you communicate them with your messages and how you interact with them on one-to-one calls. So one of the ways that you can do that is, of course, you have to get them to know most of your prospects in a certain way, but you can also also can create different, how shall we say it, different atmosphere, different environment. Maybe have 3 different websites for 3 different types of people. Someone who just wants to start a new business, coming out of a job, or someone who wants to do their passion business, or someone wanting to do, say, a wholesale or crafty business. But the simplest way is to recognize the difference between the 3 ladies and have create the messaging such that they will interact with you in such a way that you are fulfilling their need. So you can keep it to the messaging very simple. You don't have to use certain images of different age groups or anything. You can keep the website maybe gender neutral, or maybe you just want to make it a woman-related site, for example. But what's important is realizing that everyone has a different personality, and that you have to deal with them on a separate basis in terms of their personality and what we call the personal style. So this is my secret for learning about various people and how to interact with them. It's called the personal style, which is based on the idea that there are 4 basic personal styles, and that we are all a mixture of these various styles. And next week we'll talk about what I'm trying to say to you with examples. But I wanted you to realize that, yes, there is an ideal customer that you can create and messages to, but at the same time you have to be flexible enough to realize that you can actually cater later to different age groups. So they may be all your customers depending on your product. There is a secret to understanding whether a prospect can be your customer. And the secret to understanding yourself and understanding others is personality and what I call the sales style of people. And believe it or not, there is different sales styles, because I'm sure if you've ever been in a retail store, you will notice that the customers that come in, there's quite a variety of demands or expressions of what they need, and you can certainly, a successful salesperson can interact with those people and understand that they are different. And we'll go over those examples next week with some ideas and stories about myself as well as other people, about how we are all really different in how we interact. And as a business coach or someone who wants to work with people on a one-to-one basis, you need to know how to listen. And I'll show you how that's a very important, and look, these are very important skills to have in order to convert a prospect into a customer. You can certainly, on a general level, have the simple things like discounts and offers and have a good experience with other people, etc. But this is the way to be able to have stronger relationships with the people that you're interacting with as well, if you're a coach, whether it's a business coach or a life coach. So this is what I consider to be the secret to understanding yourself and understanding others. And we'll go more into it next week. And so the place to start is, of course, looking at who is your ideal customer, because you need a place to start. And that's at jgtips.com/customer profile. And this is where you start thinking very deeply about who are you writing to, who are the messaging going to be for, and then, of course, how to craft your messaging and use tracking tools to measure your success of your messaging. And this is important in terms of connecting with other people. So in terms of, it's a cliche to say who is your ideal customer, but these will be the people that will be the easiest to become customers from being prospects, if you can define the people who really need your service or custom. So that's a bit of idea for you to think about, is that your personality and your prospect's personality is something that you have to think about when you are interacting with people. And next week I will talk a bit more about it and my history with it and how I know something about it. But this week I just wanted to show you that yes, there is an ideal customer who will be the easiest to convert to your business, but of course you are able to convert as well as create the ideal customer experience for other people as well, and it's not going to be just a small niche group that you need to sell to. So this is Jane Gardner at Solopreneur Success Strategies, and next week we'll be looking at more closely your personal style, is what I call it, and your personality, as well as your customer sales style, and how the interaction of you and your customers creates the relationship which becomes the sales and the conversion into customers for you. So thank you for listening. This is Jane Gardner at jane-gardner.com. Please have a look at my YouTube channel at Solopreneur Success Strategies at jane-gardner.com, at jgtips.com/YouTube, in order to have a look at some of the previous episodes on your customers, so you can get caught up and realize that it is possible to convert prospects into customers once you become aware of who we are. That's a simple way to say it. Anyway, so we'll talk to you next week. I'll have a longer episode, I think, next week, because we'll be talking about your personality.